Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's Reading Roundup. What is this Reading Roundup? For those of you that don't know what Reading Roundup is, I always wanted to be a part of a book club and never seemed to be able to find the time to properly join one and commit to going when they were supposed to be meeting and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, I bet there's other people who really like reading but aren't able to be a part of a formal book club. Why don't we just do something online? You know, everything else is done online, so we may as well do this as well. I've really enjoyed doing this, and my team and I do it together. We read one book every month together, and sometimes it takes a little longer, a little less time depending on the book, but we would reflect on it ourselves. We thought, well, why don't we just do this on the internet and be able to incorporate people who also may want to be a part of this. So welcome to our virtual book club, our Reading Roundup. We've been reading the book called My Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. He has this crazy concept that you should wake up a bit earlier, like sometimes an hour earlier, 30 minutes earlier minimum kind of thing, and spend that time for yourself, doing things that are not work related, that are not cleaning related, that do not involve caring for other people. It's all about self-care. And he says to incorporate things like deep breathing, meditating, prayer, journaling, gratitude, reading, and I think they all kind of fall into those categories. But things that everyone knows that they should be doing, but that they don't find the time to do, and that sometimes can seem a little silly to do. And I think it's because we're not used to doing all of those things, and it can be a little uncomfortable at times. And yet I can tell you that I've incorporated this Miracle Morning concept into my life for several years now, and it has been life-changing. I feel like I am a lot calmer than I used to be. I feel like I can justify things in my mind, like before acting on things. I can kind of put things in perspective a lot better. And I've really grasped the idea of gratitude and the impact that that can have on our lives. And I journal about that every morning. And life throws you lots of different cards and lots of different obstacles to overcome. And when we can reflect on everything in our lives that we do have and be thankful for that, it really helps to overcome those obstacles. So anyway, chapter 3 is the chapter we're discussing this week. So if you haven't gotten a copy of My Miracle Morning yet, definitely get a copy of it. It's a really easy read. It's a short book. They have actually tons of different versions of it now, but we're just doing the generic, like the first one he did. It's just My Miracle Morning. And we're discussing chapter 3 today. If you need help getting this book, let me know and we'll get the book for you, because it's an awesome read. And I think there's always takeaways that other people have than ourselves. And why not share them all together and grow together, right? So chapter 3, the author Hal Elrod discusses this concept of 95% and 5%. And referring to people. And he did a couple of research studies that revealed that 95% of the retired population is not financially set up so that they can enjoy retirement. So they either aren't living anymore, so they weren't part of the study, or they are working still because they have to, or they're just in a lot of financial debt that they don't know that they'd ever get out of, kind of thing. And that's just crazy to me. That was astounding. Like, that is a massive percentage of people, and kind of scary. So then he goes into talking about what makes the 5%. And I think we're always looking for this like recipe for success, or this like secret sauce kind of thing. Like, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing, And you're always like on the edge of your seat, like waiting for something big to be revealed. And it always is so simple. And maybe it's because it's so simple that makes us think that we don't need to do that, because something so simple can't possibly be that life-changing. But research shows over and over again that it does. So the 5% really just have a goal in mind. They make a plan to get to that goal, and they stick to that goal, not allowing themselves to fall victim to distractions. And that distractions part I struggle with daily. Today I'm working from home, for example, and around me there's things that can be done. There's always laundry that can be done. I can be cleaning the place up a little bit. My dogs are here. I can be playing with them, and I definitely find myself doing that. And although those things definitely need to get done, and I'm not just, doing something random like online or anything like that. It's like spending good quality time with my dogs or like cleaning the house, whatever. Those things need to get done. And yet, if you're not being purposeful about it, like when I was breaking away and doing those important things, was I neglecting something that I should have been doing that was going to get me towards my goal? And then, the things that I chose to do instead, were those becoming such distractions that even spending the time with my dogs or cleaning the house, was it done properly because my mind was still focused on what I should be doing? So it's a super interesting concept, and yet I think we all fall victim to these distractions. And what the research will show is that those distractions are what slowly put us into that 95%. And when the author revealed this to us in chapter 3, it was really like, wow, like these seemingly insignificant things of, okay, I'm just going to stop working for a second and go like unload the dishwasher, or, my dog's knocking at the door, so I'm going to go like let her outside. I may as well play with them for a little while. Those things that you think are good and that you think are, meaningful might be, and yet they're putting you in a distracted state of mind that's taking you away from your end goal and making you fall victim to the 95%. And that's just crazy to me. And I think it's so amazing that the things that we have to do to get ourselves into the 5% are very easy. None of it involves doing open heart surgery or anything crazy like that. It literally involves just staying on task. And yet it's simple but not easy. So then it gets you to thinking, okay, well, the house still needs to be cleaned. My dogs still need to be played with. I just keep using those examples. Those can also have time set aside that would be purposeful. And then it makes you think that when you're staying free of distractions and in the moment for whatever you're doing, whether it's work-related, personal-related, your mind is going to be that much more into that, and therefore it's going to be that much more of a quality time spent than if you were to just, do those distractions and do those things throughout the day that break you away from what you originally thought you should be doing. So I found this chapter very interesting and kind of like wow, I want to get myself into that 5% and I don't want to fall victim to the 95%. And if this is all it takes, and if the research shows this over and over and over again, let's just do it and commit to it. So please share with us your takeaways from chapter 3 as well. Again, if you're just chiming in, we're talking about the book My Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Definitely get the book and read it. It will change your life. It really will. It's changed mine. I can't think of myself doing anything else first thing in the morning. I encourage you to look into this and see if it could help you as well. But next week we're going to be discussing chapter 4. So get your book. If you can't get the book, let me know and I'll get it for you. And we can do this book club together and share our takeaways and grow and become better and get ourselves into the 5% together. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you have an awesome weekend. And thanks for tuning in. Bye.